We have this very sweet 1937 Royal Quiet Deluxe we're going to take a look at today. Look at these beautiful glass keys. This is a smaller portable vintage typewriter. I love the older Royals. They're some of my favorite manuals. This one I said is a Royal Deluxe. It is not a Quiet Deluxe. Those come later. It's a Royal Deluxe. So this is going to be a tutorial video. I'm going to just go over everything and how to use it. Be sure to give me a thumbs up before we get started, and subscribe if you already haven't. Thanks so much for being here. Let's get started with our tutorial. Okay, this is a very sweet machine. This is very similar to the Royals Model A and O. This one has a crinkle finish. I don't know if you can see, or a textured finish. And then it has the chrome accents. It's got the chrome wrap around the base of the cover and the base of the typewriter. And it's got these little black stripes on it as well. So that is the Royal Deluxe. Now, before the Royal Quiet Deluxe came around, there was a Royal Quiet and a Royal Deluxe. And then they kind of became the Royal Quiet Deluxe. So it can get a little confusing around this time of their typewriters, but that is the case. This one is a Royal Deluxe, and you can see the older version of their logo with the R going swooping underneath. Very, very cute. Okay, so this is a tutorial video. I'm just going to go over how to use this in case you happen to have one or come across one and you want one. These are fantastic machines. I actually, of the Royals, I prefer the older models to the newer ones. Like I do collect the mid-50s, the colored ones. But I actually prefer these 40s and 30s and the uprights of the Royals. They're some of my favorite manual typewriters by far. So, and then here's, if you want to see, here's just an up close look at the typeface for this one. But I will load this as well, and you can kind of hear it typing. So, that's a little bit smaller profile than some of the other portables, maybe from the 50s and 60s. So it's, I would say it's kind of in between that ultra portable and portable. It's kind of just in between there, a little bit smaller. I love the round black glass keys with the chrome edges on them. They really fit fingers quite well. And this particular keyboard is quite suitable for those of us with more petite hands, or if you just prefer a lighter touch, just an easier performance on a typewriter, then this Royal Deluxe is a really good option for people. Okay, some of the older Royals have the black gloss finish. This one is the black textured, a matte textured finish. Okay, so let's start from the back and work our way forward, and I'm going to go pretty quickly here. All right, so the back panel flips open, and underneath it is your margin settings, and you just press and drag like that to where you want your margins. Now, keep in mind that your carriage is going to move as far as your margins are set. There's the little bell. So if I bring my margins in, the carriage is only going to move as far as the margins. There we go. And that bell should go off as you get close to your margin. Now, on this carriage, this is your carriage right here. This is your platen. This is your paper holder or bail that holds that paper taut against the platen. When you get into these older machines, your platens tend to be very hard. The rubber just gets very hard over time. And so you may want to have someone replace that. There is only a couple of people in the United States that actually do that. We do not replace the platens, but we do recommend, especially as they get harder, to use like 2 or 3 strips of paper at a time. Plus, that helps protect your platen. If you come across a platen that's cracked, that is something that has to be replaced. It's not usable. Okay, so on this carriage on the right side, you have a paper release, meaning it releases the tension on your paper. So like if you are going to load a piece of paper, you just set it right behind that platen, turn the handle, I'm going to pull it through. I like to bring it till the 2 edges meet, and then I can see that mine is a little crooked, so I'm going to bring forward that paper release, going to adjust it so it's nice and even, and then re-engage it. Now to release the carriage, there's a lever on each side. There's a lever here, and there's a lever here. It doesn't matter which one you use. Okay. I don't know why that bell sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, but there it is. Gets a little finicky, I guess. Only dings when it wants to. Okay, so then over here on the left side, you have your paper release. Your roller release, or some people call it a variable spacing. So when you turn the handle on your roller, you hear it clicking. Sometimes you want to line up your ribbon vibrator here exactly in a specific place, and when the roller is engaged, it's hard to do that, so you disengage it, and then you can kind of freely line things up exactly where you want and re-engage. The little tab below it, this is going to be your line selector. So right now it's on double. Up here it's single. So up is single, down is double, and that is what those levers are for. Your return handle also not only moves the carriage over, but it advances to the next line. Okay, I'm going to open up this cover, and to do so, I like to make sure my carriage is over to the left, because when you pop this open, a lot of typewriters you will see have rubbing or scratches here, and that's because they try to open the cover when the handle is too close to it. So I'm going to open that up, and inside of this one, you're going to see the whole escapement area. This is your typing basket. This is your typewriter ribbon, and this does use a universal ribbon. And if you go to our playlist, our ribbon playlist, you can kind of get an idea of how ribbons are threaded through typewriters. Okay, so when you do change out your ribbons, make sure black is on top, red is on bottom. The ribbons just pop in and out. Okay, this happens to be a metal spool. If you get metal spools, hold on to those. Those are a little bit harder to find. And then when you're typing, let's see, which way is this one going? This way. Okay, so you're typing, you'll get to the end of the spool, and then, oops, it's not the end of your ribbon. You just need to reverse the direction, which is right here. So I flipped it over, and now you go this way, and you just keep going back and forth till you've used up all that ink in the ribbon, and that is... so your ribbon should last you a considerable amount of time before you need to replace it. And there are 2 options with us. You can send us your spool and we'll put fresh ribbon on it, or you can purchase universal ribbons on our website as well. And the link to that is down below. Also, by the way, please visit, there's a link to a new course that I offer called Vintage Typewriters 101. And it's basically everything you need to get started with vintage typewriters and using them, caring for them, plus all kinds of extra information. I basically put it together with everything I know about typewriters, and it's for the cost of taking me out to lunch, sitting me down, and letting me tell you everything I know. It's a lot of information I wish I knew before I bought my first typewriter, but it's also very relevant if you already own one and you just want to have all the information. If you're looking up, what about this, it's kind of all in one place. It has a 64-page downloadable workbook to go with it. All right. let's keep going. So we did the ribbon reversal. This is called the touch selector right here in the middle. And what that does is it determines, you know, when you just move it along, it just changes how hard these type bars are going to strike your paper. Most people, or I don't notice a lot of difference, but you'll just have to try that out and see what fits well with your hand. Over here is your ribbon selector. So right now it's on black. If I flip it up, that goes to red. And then you can go all the way over here, but you have to press it down and over, and that's a white. You'll see a white dot. That's a stencil setting. It is not going to type on a stencil setting. And what that setting does is, kind of hard to explain right now, but it's not going to type well. So if you are using your typewriter and it's not typing well, two things to check before you panic. Make sure your ribbon selector is fully on black or red, and then try reversing your ribbon 9 times out of 10. That will solve your problems. And then down here you see the glass keys, lovely glass keys. Let's take a look at some of those, the functions down here. So over here it says margin release, and what that is when you're typing, that bell should go off. Oh, the reason it hasn't is because I'm too far out. Let me bring this in and try this again. Make sure that bell's gonna work. There we go. Okay, well, the bell didn't go off. It should. That bell should go off to let you know that, hey, you're getting close to your margin. And once you reach that margin, it's going to stop on you. So that's what it's done. It's stopped. It's not moving. But let's say I want to finish my thought there. I'll hit margin release. And then you just go to the next line. So that's what that margin release is for. If you're using it for every line, you don't understand the purpose of a margin release. That's basically, you know, if you get caught like in the middle of a word when you reach your margin and you need to finish your word. So make sure you have your margins set where you actually need them to be. You have your shift key, which is on either side, and then the shift lock. If you press down on it, you have to push back. You'll see a pin down here and it'll stick under that pin, and that is your shift lock, which will be your capital letters. And your symbols. Oops. Okay, so that's what that one is for. Over here, you see your tab. And that is where you set, you tab over, and to set it, oh, whoops. This one I think is preset. Sorry, I couldn't remember. So let's take a look. So this one is preset. It looks like I don't see any way to set a tab on this. So this one is preset, and then you have your backspace. Backspace does not erase, okay? So that is how you use a 1937 Royal Deluxe, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching, and you have a blessed day.